Welcome to the pod, baby. Welcome to Brian's World. I am your host, the big homie, the ambassador of Kansas City, Brian B. Shynin.
Shut up, Brian.
So happy to be here with you, and I'm blessed to have a little bit of your time, man. Even if you're not checking out the entire pod, I love and appreciate you for tapping into Brian's World, because it could have been anywhere else in the world, but you're here with me. And I'm going to make it worth your time, man. Shout out to my family at Foolish Club Media. Make sure you rate, subscribe, and review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and on YouTube. And while you're at YouTube, make sure you subscribe to B Shynin, BSHYNIN, and check out not only all of my Brian's World content, but, you know, the entire pod and all of that, but my Hustle and Shine content on Hot 103 Jams with my sister Deanna Hustle, man. You know, we be making that fire content, you know what I'm saying, on Hustle and Shine in the morning. But also I got beats, I got mixes, I got Chiefs content, I got it all, baby. My personal content, subscribe at B Shynin on YouTube and Brian B Shynin on all other socials, man. This week in the pod, of course, going to get into the draft. And, baby, I was dead on with what the Chiefs supposed to do in the draft, baby. They did. It was like I was in the planning room with Brett Veach, baby. You know what I'm saying? Your big homie was on it. We'll get on that. And, obviously, I love what we did in the draft, so we'll give my thoughts. Shedeur Sanders, speaking of the draft, how in the hell did he fall to the 5th round? I have my thoughts on that. Why men need to get married. Fellas, we're going to have a sit down. We need to talk. We need to sit down and have a conversation, a serious conversation, not in the barbershop, not at the stadium or at the arena. We need to sit down at like a cigar lounge or something, dog, where we can have a serious talk on why we need to encourage fellas to get married. And it has almost everything to do with your favorite uncle, Shannon Sharpe. Not my favorite uncle. He cool. He all right now. I used to hate his guts. So I can't, the way I used to hate Shannon Sharpe, he can't be my uncle, dog. So big love to Shannon. No, now he all right, he cool. But yeah, we'll dive into that later on. And then Wallo, you know him from the podcast $1 Million Worth of Game with Gilly the King. He had some comments about supporting black businesses that struck a chord with me that I'm going to dive into in the Brian's World in the pod this week. On the previous Brian's World episode, there were several things that I noted. I said that Brett Veach needed to knock this out of the park. I said that we needed depth. I said we needed O-line and D-line. We needed all of that. And Brett Veach knocked it out of the park, man. In Veach, we trust. Never doubt him. I thought Veach had a great draft. First off, I mean, just rebuilding the offensive line. Trying to get that left tackle situation situated by any means necessary. Because that's what ultimately stopped the Chiefs from winning the Super Bowl. That left tackle situation, if that was fixed from the beginning of the season, hell, 15-1, undefeated, I don't know. But I just know that the injuries and the lack of wide receivers, the offensive line issues, those were prime things that stopped the Chiefs winning the Super Bowl last year. And you saw with the offseason additions, not remissions, I guess, the people who stayed. Hollywood Brown, he came back. You see Juju, he came back. The Chiefs is like, all right, bet. We just needed to get these injuries back. We just need to get these receivers back. And we just going to run this offense again from what it was supposed to be last year. Rashee Rice, we don't know when we're going to get him back. But, again, we needed some depth at wide receiver. And, damn it, he got that too with Jalen Rolls. What was that, 4th round pick? Telling you, dog. He's like, what, your 4th receiver now? And he's a rookie. All right, my expectations are a little high for these guys. We'll get into that a little later on. But let's kick it off with Josh Simmons, though. You know, if this guy is anything that he's supposed to be, potential is a very dangerous word. It is. And I guess this goes along with my expectations. But, man, he could be powerful and agile and your stalwart at left tackle, perhaps for the rest of Patrick Mahomes' career. You got that problem solved, dog, for the rest of Pat's career. If he could be the left tackle that we think he could be, But there's an injury there. He got hurt last year. I heard some other concerns that are floating around Josh Simmons. But look, man, to get him at 32, and then you traded back with the Eagles. You traded back with the Ops, too. Got us an extra 5th rounder.
Lord have mercy.
In Beach we trust, man. Way to get it done with Josh Simmons. I'm excited about him. And I'm going, of course, you hear it now, I'm going out on a limb. I think he's going to be fantastic for the Chiefs. And perhaps tackle could maybe be a strong suit for the team going forward. Time will tell on that. Another pick I love, Norman Lott, the D tackle from Tennessee. Treshaun Wharton. If you listen to Brian's World last year, you knew how much that I loved Treshaun Wharton and his game. I hope that this young man, Norman Lott, can be just as intense. And like, if you look at the size, pause. Of him and Treshaun Wharton, they are like almost the same exact size. He's 6'2", 291. I think Treshaun Wharton's like 6'1", 290 something. So, I love it. I told y'all we had to beef up on that offense and defensive line. That's just what Brett Veach did. Not only did you get a receiver, not only did you beef up the O-line, D-line, but you got you a speedy little hybrid linebacker safety in the mix too.
Damn.
What? You got Noah Williams. You got the cornerback, and then another one I'm excited about. That running back we got, man.
This is a sick Negro.
Shedeur Smith from SMU, the speedster from SMU. The Chiefs wanted more speed in that backfield, baby, and so did I. I told y'all we needed to get explosion. We need to get that back. And you got something with Elijah Mitchell. I hope he makes the team because there's a lot of running backs in that running back room right now. But Shedeur Smith is a former wide receiver turned running back, and I can't wait. Another kick return option in the mix now. Bro, Brett Veach knocked it out the park. Now, all right, I'm not big on draft grades. I'm not one for, the Chiefs did not. And that's kind of exactly what I'm doing right now. It's just I'm excited about this draft class. I really am. But man, if it's anything like the 21 or 22 draft, this greatness is going to sustain itself for a very long time. I love this draft that Brett Veach did. You knocked it out the park, baby. Brett Veach, I trust in you, dog. I really do. These other folks, they be, I'm watching them, Veach. They be doubting you, dog. Your big homie don't. I got your back, man. It just this draft, it just signifies that the Chiefs are positioning themselves to contend for a very long time. With getting the depth at those specific positions that I called out. I'm just saying that the Chiefs need to go get a pass rusher. Somebody specifically made to just a speed guy to go get the quarterback on those third downs. Need to fulfill, Treshaun Wharton, he's gone. You got to beef up that D-line. I think not addressing that will be a disappointment. Still not addressing left tackle or the offensive line as a whole would be a disappointment to me. Get some depth. Oh, one other thing that will just completely just make my day with this draft, if the Chiefs get a stud running back. I'm ready for the season now. I'm getting there. Before the draft, I wasn't there. I wasn't there at all, y'all. I wasn't. I'm gonna admit it. It's just that because we didn't fulfill the holes, and I talked about this on the last pod a little bit. But now, Veach, I trust in you, dog. So speaking of the draft, Shedeur Sanders, bro, in nearly every mock draft that you've seen with Shedeur Sanders, he was slated to go in the first round. And I'm talking about with like 90% of the mock drafts that you've seen out there. Maybe some had him slip into the second, Maybe a few had him to the third. But I was shocked when he didn't go in the first 3 rounds. But then we all had to sit and think about it. Or maybe I should just speak for myself. I had to sit down and think about it. And the NFL have done this before. They did it to Colin Kaepernick, to where it's like, I guess the NFL feels like they're going to make you pay for not going along with the shield, for, I guess, being who you are. Shedeur Sanders, that is. And I thought a lot of stuff with Shedeur Sanders was chicken shit, including anonymous NFL sources. You anonymous fam? All right. They criticize his attitude. Some thoughts about his interview performance. And then some describing it as the worst you ever seen. What's the worst you ever seen? How come you can't just put your name on it then? But, be that as it may. And then there's a report specifically about the New York Giants and what he did allegedly in their pre-draft meeting.
Look, I think everything that people came out and said about the pre-draft process, the meetings, just how he rubbed teams the wrong way. I truly believe that. And, there's also been reports out there now that, in particular, the Giants, in a meeting with the Giants, he allegedly got up on the board and wasn't fully prepared for an install. And, again, allegedly had kind of an exchange with Brian Daboll where I don't think he was happy. It sounds to me like basically he wasn't fully prepared for it. This is what's being alleged. Brian Daboll wasn't happy with that. And then they it sounded like it got tense. And I can tell you right now, if that's true, and again, it's out there, one of the easiest ways to get teams to pass on you is to not do well in a situation where they're asking you to do an offensive install in front of them and you don't do it well, and then you have a problem with the fact that you were asked to do it, or however you want to spell that out. I know we made a lot about the visceral anonymous comments that got put out there by the NFL Network, but I didn't hear a lot of people saying, yeah, that doesn't sound right. Clearly there were some problems in terms of how he carried himself into meetings. And I think that's ultimately what caused the slide. We can talk about how Cleveland ended up taking him in a little bit, but at least in terms of the slide, I do think it was some of the football stuff, limited athletic profile that maybe not all teams liked. But then I think a lot of it was just what, transpired in the lead up to this. Remember, he didn't work out the combine either. And, late pro day, late private workouts. I think he only did one private workout with the Giants. I don't think he did a private workout with any other team. So really rough process. And I would hope in the future, and, I'm sure Shedeur learned something from this, but I would hope in the future other quarterbacks look at this very closely and understand what they're going into with the process.
Now, it's no concrete evidence to point that there was a coordinated effort to blackball or to make him pay. But you just got to think with your logical mind and think about the negative feedback that he got, warranted or not. That raised a lot of questions. Him deciding to not, perform at the combine. I guess he having his own pro day at Colorado to where he could control, the environment or whatever. All of that stuff, man, him being Deion Sanders' son. We know that has a lot to do with it. Because the NFL wants to make him pay. Because how Deion used to act in the league back in the day, they hated it. A lot of the old oligarchy, old NFL timers, they hated Deion's attitude, man. It's similar to the YNs is doing what they do today. Deion was on that same thing back then. But the thing with Deion is that I I've never seen a man lock down an entire field by himself, an entire half a field by himself. He's the inventor and definition of a shutdown corner. There was no shutdown corner before Deion Sanders. Maybe Mel Blount, maybe him. But other than that, I don't want to hear about it. I don't want to hear about it, man. But Deion, here, and let me get to this because this could be a long discussion. I kind of feel bad for Shedeur because of Deion, because no matter what the outcome is with Shedeur Sanders, if he, becomes, a great quarterback, if he becomes a solid starter, if he doesn't even make it in the league that long, he's always going to be compared to his father. Always. I think that's one of the downfalls in this situation, is that no matter how well or how poor he performs, like we talking about one of the greatest legacies in NFL history. Deion is ranked on many people's list as the greatest NFL player to ever play. Definitely one of the greatest defender to ever play, greatest cornerback to ever play. Deion has a monstrous legacy, but Shedeur is never going to be able to live up to that. But then I'm like, maybe it's not about that with them. Maybe it's about just excellence within the Sanders family. And here's the thing I love about Shedeur is that he ain't got to do this. He don't have to play football. And that's a very, very, very good trait when you want to. That speaks a lot about your character, how you built. You got something to prove. But he don't have to play football. He can go work with Pops. They could all do their whole little thing, man. They could have reality TV. They could do whatever they wanted to do in the Sanders household. So he doesn't need to play football. But now he got something to prove. But y'all, let's be real though, real quick. Let's be real about Shedeur Sanders. Now, look, man, these NFL teams make a whole lot of money off of individual players. Shedeur Sanders is definitely going to be one of them. So they didn't necessarily want to miss that train if he was worthy of being a first-round quarterback. Okay? Now, the mock drafts earlier that I talked about, and everybody had him slated to go at least in the first or second round. They did. But he was doing things that Patrick Mahomes could do. He was doing things that maybe Patrick is a bad example because he wasn't such a great quarterback. But hell, Shedeur Sanders wasn't a great quarterback in college. He was cool. He was all right. He had Travis Hunter. So maybe I can't compare Patrick Mahomes to him. Patrick for sure was definitely going in the first round. But you didn't see Patrick Mahomes acting like that. He participated in the combine. He did all of the pre-draft stuff. He wasn't messing up in the interview. Y'all, Shedeur Sanders was f***ing up in them interviews, y'all. He was bullshitting them interviews, y'all. Let's be honest. Let's keep it real. Let's keep it real. All right? Some of you would too. All right? I'm getting drafted. And my daddy is Deion Sanders. Come on, y'all. Y'all know it might have been a little bit of that, dog. He didn't do his homework all the way, probably. I ain't seen nobody really, besides people in the Sanders camp, I haven't seen people in the NFL refute any of these reports, by the way. I'm not saying that they all, we don't know if they true. I wasn't there. You wasn't there. Okay? But, dog, come on, y'all. Let's keep it real. Keep it real, dog. He was bullshitting in them interviews. Come on, man. You done bullshit in an interview or two in your life. I have. It is what it is, man. Especially if you feel like you got it like that. And you feel like, I don't have to be here. Who are y'all? I know what I'm capable of. I know what I can do. I understand that. I get that. And he's full of that. But there's a consequence to that. There's a consequence to all of our actions that we have. And Shedeur just got to take this. This is the thing, man. He's drafted. He's in there. He's on the team. Jersey selling like hotcakes. All right? Shedeur Sanders, the 5th round pick. So he has an opportunity. It don't matter when you're drafted as long as you're drafted. And he has an opportunity to be what he says he is all the time. Legendary. And if he's built anything like his pops, Cleveland got him a hell of a quarterback on their hand. All right, fellas, we got to have a sit down and talk. Get your stogie, get your liquor, beer, whatever it is that you do. Some of you might, get hookah. I don't know. But y'all, let's have a sit down and have a serious conversation on why some of us need to focus on getting married. Not all, but some of us do.
This dating thing. Because it's Mo is different now than when you and I was
It's different, baby. I'm grateful I'm not 56 and trying.
What you trying to say? What you trying to say, Mo?
I'm looking right at you.
I know
I'm
you looking at me.
I ain't backing down. You better take your old ass and get somebody to love you.
Damn, Mo.
Now I'm looking right at y'all. Let me tell y'all what Shannon needs.
Let me live my
Let
life.
me tell you what my baby needs. He need him an old fat gal who can bake good cakes, make some smothered turkey wings, who gonna rub his feet at the nighttime, okay, and gonna have a sip of his cognac to make him feel better about himself when he come home at night. That's what Shannon needs. You don't need no 26-year-old girl. You don't need no 36-year-old girl.
I do.
This is your auntie talking to you. Take your old ass and get you an old bitch out there that can love you old. You're trying to hang out with these young bitches and you can't do it, Shannon. You just can't do it.
Damn.
When they want you to go for the 4th round, you looking at her like, bitch, listen, you want some money to go to Starbucks?
Yeah.
Because I can't go no further. But if you get your older girl, when you get to that 4th round, she's going to say, hold on. Let me go get you some eggs and cheese and some toast with apple butter, because that's going to get your energy back up. I'm talking right to you. Shit.
And I just want to ask y'all one simple question. If Shannon Sharpe was married, happily married that is, would he be going through any of this? I don't think so.
Hell no!
He's had to temporarily step away from ESPN's First Take, talking about the prime show on ESPN. He's had to step away from it following a $50 million rape lawsuit by Jane Doe. ESPN is backing up. They ain't said a word. They ain't said nothing. And it suggests that other media companies are starting to do that too with Shannon Sharpe, with the ongoing legal controversies. Now, he's denied all of the allegations and has vowed to fight the claims, asserting that all of them are baseless. So, you saw all the text messages, though. As his legal team, set those text messages off, suggesting a consensual relationship with the accuser. We all got different lives and we have different reasons as to why we operate how we do. And I think that us as humans, we have to learn to accept sometimes where people at. And I guess kind of like search for understanding and instead of trying to wag your finger at somebody. But y'all, I don't think Shannon Sharpe is the type of person who we're talking about here. Maybe he is. I don't know. But I would think, though, if I had the type of fame, money, and success that Shannon Sharpe has, that I would kind of want to keep that to me and my family, to me and myself, instead of leaving myself wide open for some foolishness to happen. And so I really want to give the fellas out there just reasons to why you should embrace marriage. Because I'm going to tell you what, before I get into it, the reason a lot of fellas don't want to get married is because you don't want to put the work in. And I get it. I understand it. It is a lot of damn work. It's a lot. It is. Day in and day out, you get tested. And a lot of guys just don't want to go through that, or haven't found the right person to go through that with. So I feel like it's my job as somebody who advocates for family, somebody who advocates for family structure, to kind of give you some reasons on why you need to get married and leave them streets alone, dog. Leave them alone. Listen, stability and companionship. I know a lot of you guys is out there, you know, your life is messed up, dog. You might not know it, but it is. You're out here going from house to house. Okay, you're leaving clothes and drawers at different ladies' houses and doing all this other stuff, man. Dog. You're leaving yourself wide open, dog, for foolishness to happen. I'm telling you, marriage can provide emotional stability and a consistent support system from your wife. It can, man. Let's see, legacy and family structure. Y'all know I just said I'm big on that, man. A stable household structure, it can positively impact your child's upbringing and create that strong legacy. And I'm gonna tell you this, man, the house that you build definitely defines how your children are gonna pan out. A lot of times, sometimes it can make or break your child. A lot of times it does. A lot of times it does, and the child grows up and doesn't even know it. So, how about being a great role model for your kids, huh? Being in a committed relationship, it provides a visible example for younger athletes to follow your path, Shannon Sharpe, huh? All right. How about a good balance to your professional life? I'm gonna tell you one thing, man. One of the great things about being married and what I've learned is like it has taught me to be a much better leader. A much better leader, because you gotta walk it how you talk it. Because you got somebody right there with a mirror. You gotta walk it how you talk. You got to do what you say you're gonna do. Because if you don't, you're gonna get held accountable. 100%. So with that, you know, it's just taught me to just further get into being more of a leader in different places. Not only does it help me be a better leader in my marriage, but it helps me be a better leader at work, which is that professional, you know, balance that you can get with that. It helped me be a better leader just in society. And with my football team when I coached, it spills out to everything else, man. I'm telling you, dog, I'm not telling you no bullshit when it comes to getting married. It's not specifically just, oh, I'm gonna fall in love with a woman and da 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 da. No, you learn so much and you just become a better human being, dog. Trust your big homie on this, man. And then the health benefits, man. Let's talk about that. Longevity and disease resistance. I'm going to just go through it. Married men tend to live longer and experience lower rates of heart disease, cancer, and other chronic conditions. It's attributed to the emotional and practical support provided by a spouse, your wife, which contributes to better health outcomes. And, you know, look, man, I'm telling you, dog, I'm a much healthier person since I've been with my wife. Seriously, it helps. Heart health. Married men generally have a lower risk of heart attacks and cardiovascular diseases compared to their unmarried counterparts. Listen, cancer survival rates. This is serious, dead ass with this one though. Studies indicate that married cancer patients often have better survival rates than their single peers, possibly due to increased emotional support and adherence to treatment plans. Now, a lot of y'all are going to frown at that and be like, man, I ain't found the one. I ain't near where she at. She's out there, bro. You looking in the wrong places. You on Facebook and Instagram and on socials, bro. Get your ass to church, dog. Go get you a wife, man. I'm telling you, the social and emotional well-being, it helps you with that too, man. Some of you guys, man, y'all need to reduce your loneliness, man. You've been on, on the farmersonly.com and, chasing the girls on the internet, on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram, dog. Hop off them socials, bruh. Hop off them socials. Go to a speakeasy or something. Go to a library. You got to go where you want your wife to be at. You want your wife in a club? Probably not. Probably not. Yeah, look, man. Go get your wife, dog. And it improves your mental health, man. It does. A supportive marital relationship can act as a buffer against stress and mental health issues, contributing to overall emotional well-being. Some of you guys don't even know that you going through something or that you messed up. And a little bit of this, I'm a testimony of God, bro, and how good he's been and what he could bring you through, dog. I'm just trying to spread the good news to you. That's my job. Okay. And then like you start to learn how to be considerate. You start to learn that quality over status. Quality, hard to tell that to people these days, but quality over status, man. Here's the thing that most men, though, and I'm going to wrap it up with this. Here's the thing that most men are afraid of with marriage. And yes, losing their family, of course, probably, I hope, is the number one thing for all men and what they're afraid of with marriage. But a lot of men are afraid of losing money in marriage because they're thinking like Paul Pierce, dumbass.
Because I feel like every relationship shouldn't be based off sex, but every relationship is based off of that.
I don't think so.
100%. You can't tell me nothing different. This is what I feel, and that's why I'll never be in another relationship because it's always based off of that.
So you're not going to be in another relationship?
Hell no. For what? Because it's going to be based off the sex. Once that wear down, you're going to go find somebody else that's better. Yeah. It ain't going to be based off of... This is the thing, and listen carefully. Listen carefully.
I'm listening.
Relationships, let me tell you what marriage is all about. Or let me tell you what marriage is and who's marriage for. Marriage is for old people and poor people.
That's stupid.
Because when you broke, our parents, like my moms and all them, they married on a merit of like, okay, we're going to put our incomes together, have all these kids, and then when our kids, we're going to have 5, 10 kids back in the 60s, all them, they're going to have 5, 10 kids so they can work and bring income.
Yeah.
So you poor. So you married for that. And now when you get old, somebody that to be by your side to take care of you. Right now, my mom got married. My mom never been married in my lifetime. She got married when she was 70.
Wow.
It was perfect. She had somebody by her side the whole way through.
So do you...
I really believe that. Like, that's what, like, outside of that, it's no advantage to a man. Why is marriage an advantage? What advantage, what does it do for a man when things go south? Like, we gonna have to give up half our this, pay child support, but it's only advantageous to a woman. Like, it's real talk.
But what if you meet a woman and you're like, wow, she's a gem, she's valuable, she's everything, and I want to lock her down in marriage?
I don't want to lock no woman down. We could be cool.
So you're telling me right now today,
you
on January 4th, you do not want to be in a relationship ever again?
I don't think it's realistic long term until I turn 70.
You know, y'all, I'm gonna be honest. That is one of the dumbest things I've ever heard in my life. And, you know, I guess it's no coincidence that he didn't even mention the Bible or God or anything, which is what marriage is based on. But be that as it may, but a lot of men are just scared of losing money. But you get financial stability when you're married, dog. Because married men typically, they make higher wages. For instance, a study found that married individuals earn approximately 15% more per hour than their unmarried counterparts. I'm just trying to spread the good news and why you fellas need to get married, dog. You got to settle down and get it in and put the work in. And marriage can provide economic stability too, okay? For example, a study said that a family income averaged $43,000, over $43,000 when married, but it declined to just $25,000 following separation, highlighting the financial benefits of maintaining a stable marriage. Do you want to be a target? Because I feel like that's where Shannon Sharpe and a lot of other older guys are when they try to do this thing. And Shannon Sharpe ain't the only one. He's just the example we're using right now. But you got, you know, and Bill Belichick is not the same because there's no accusations against him. But he's 70-something years old messing with a 20-something-year-old.
Oh, brother, whoa. Now, you got too much dip on your chip.
Okay? It ain't just Shannon Sharpe. By the way, that's disgusting. That young lady was born during the first dynasty.
I beg your pardon?
Of the Patriots.
This This is a sick Negro.
She was born in 2000 something. I don't know what her exact age is, but Bill Belichick is 70 something messing with a 20-year-old. Shannon Sharpe is 60 something messing with a 20-year-old. What are y'all doing, fam? What are y'all doing? And this ain't nothing new. This has been going on for centuries. This probably been going on. It's been going on since the beginning of time. But it's insidious. It is. Especially when you're living the type of life that we, think that Shannon Sharpe is living with, some of the reports that's coming out. Because when one lawsuit comes, in these type of situations, it seems like more lawsuits come. It's like 10 more comes after that. And I'm like, why? Well, all of a sudden now you're a target and everyone is making claims and everybody is, going through the memory Rolodex. You're going through those encounters and parties and stuff. I was with, on December of and now you're trying to remember and see if they've done anything romantically close with you, anything flirtatious, anything sexual, any encounter that they're thinking that they had with you. They're going to try and think that. So now you're a target. I say it once, I said it twice, I'm going to say it again. If you think Shannon Sharpe was married, do you think this would be happening? Now, some people be like, well, man, it could be worse. I don't know, dog. Yeah, in some cases it could be. If you get in a marriage, you're not prepared and you're not trying to put in all the work or whatever, maybe it could be. I don't know. But I would take my chances on God and trying to submit to a wife under him and having a great marriage than what Shannon Sharpe has to deal with right now. And no, it's not guaranteed that you're going to go through this exact thing or anything similar to that of what Shannon Sharpe is going through. But why risk it, though? Why risk it? And then we talking about money. We're going to wrap it up with this. The thing that most men fear is losing money with marriage. But that's exactly what will happen to you once you decide to live that playboy lifestyle a lot of times, dog. A lot of guys frown on child support, but are willingly to be stupid and ignorant and get taken advantage of by younger women. We got to make it make sense, dog. Some of these women are scammers out here, dog. You can tell Shannon Sharpe ain't listen to no city girls. You can tell. Because he is not up on game, man. Shannon Sharpe, you was down and paid somebody $10 million to keep something on the hush. Bruh, settle down and get married.
Period, Brian.
Us. Oh, I'm black. Oh, black people. Nobody gives a about that. Kill that shit. Now. Either you got a good business or you don't. All that shit, don't nobody want to hear that shit. That's a hustle. Support me because I got a black business. Is your restaurant clean? Is the food good? Do you got consistent cooks? Is the material your shit good? Stop doing that. Oh, you support the white people? No, I support consistency, baby. Yeah. About what color you is. I'm gonna spend my money. That paper, I'm gonna spend them deals where I want to spend it at. Whether it's Porsche, Ferrari, I'm gonna do what do while I'm here. But I'm gonna tell you one thing, I ain't gonna be finessed off some black shit.
I really love Wallo and Gilly the King's pod because they really be talking that real shit on $1 million worth of game. And Wallo has consistently advocated for supporting black-owned businesses. He has always emphasized the importance of, economic empowerment within our communities, encouraging his audience to, be intentional with their spending within the black community because it all circles back. It all provides jobs. It provides money for people who care about the things that you care about. You know what I'm saying? And his advocacy is a larger movement of a community thinking that we have to have. But when it comes to supporting black-owned businesses, your big homie Brian B. Shynin, I probably just have a soft spot because I'm thinking about the family, and I'm thinking about all the money and time and resources and dreams that they've invested into their business. And that's just where I'm thinking, man. That's just where I'm coming from. Now you got the other side to where you're the consumer and you may not be happy with your experience at this certain business, and you want to let it be known. And I'm like, why, bruh? Why do we need to go on the internet and blast certain businesses? Now, some, I get it. If they're taking advantage of people, if they're not providing the service that they said they were going to provide, I get all of that. Because we all work hard for our money, and you want to spend your money wisely. And if you're not satisfied with the outcome of how you spent your money, of course, some of us are going to be a little pissed off. I get that. I understand that. But my thing is, you don't do that with other businesses. When you go to McDonald's, or when you go to any corporation or any major restaurant or anything, I don't see people going in on everybody else how they do specifically some black-owned businesses. And that's just my experience. Everybody got a voice. I get it. But why do the black business like that? Why go out of your way to go and rank down their Yelp reviews? Why do all of that? They had a tough day. That's just me, though. That's just where I be thinking with it, though, man. But I've just seen that time and time again, to where you go to a restaurant and the ambiance ain't hitting. You got terrible service. The food is overpriced. And it won't say a peep about them. Okay? But let a black-owned business forget to put some napkins in that sack, and all hell will break loose on your socials, man. They'll get on socials and dog them completely out. And that's just where I'm like, man, come on, y'all. I understand that we all have standards. I do. Especially when it comes to food or just generally spending their money. But I think that we have to work with some of our black-owned businesses. I truly believe that. And we will be better off for it. They'll be better off for it, because you're giving them constructive criticism instead of going in and being mad and just trying to close them down or whatever you're trying to do. Their service will be better. Their food will be better. Then you're not putting a black-owned business out of business. So I just think a little empathy goes a long way. That's all I'm trying to say, cousins. That's all I'm trying to say. A little empathy goes a long way. Just try to take a second to understand that, yes, they might be struggling on that day that you in there. They just might be. It just might be a bad day. But what's wrong with cutting them just a little bit of slack? What's wrong with that? We all could use a little grace. We all could, man. We all are not perfect, and we all have our days. I get it. But man, a little slack, a little empathy, and just thinking about something just a little bit beyond yourself, it can make a difference for a lot of people that you encounter with every single day of your life, man. Man, I appreciate y'all tapping in. Just make sure you hit that subscribe button on YouTube at Shynin. And shout out to my fam at Foolish Club Media. Please check us out. Rate, subscribe, and review on YouTube, Spotify, and on Apple Podcasts. Well, I'm going to be back at it in a couple weeks, man. I'm going to holler at you then. Oh, a couple things. Look, man, I just talked to Mary Lucas on Hustle and Shine in the morning. Look, man, these ATV and sideshows and the dirt bikes, man, y'all better be easy, man. Be easy, because Mary Lucas said they are not playing around with y'all.
Our first message is we don't want to have to take anything away from anybody. So we want to ask you to respect the law. And I'll be even more straight. If you are in the middle of downtown, if you're sitting on Grand, if you're sitting on 14th Street and you're trying to dirt bike around, if you're trying to, get in the way of folks, causing harm to people, that will be enforced and that will be a problem. So you can take it to other communities. You can do it out in the country. If you need ideas of where to go, I talk to people all the time who just own land and say that we'd love to have people out there. So that's something we can try to connect with and facilitate. What we can't do is allow the street takeovers and some of the activity that occurs at too many of those events. And so that is our beginning message. We're taking it seriously. It's a real problem. You can't operate and exist on our streets with impunity. And that, I think, is going to be a big part of what it is we're trying to accomplish over the summer months.
Might have a new city manager, by the time the next Brian's World drops. So I'll probably tap into all of those things, plus more in KC culture news, general culture news, of course, Chiefs Kingdom news as well. Thank you so much for tapping into Brian's World. I thank you for your time. You could have been anywhere else in the world, but you're here with me. I love and appreciate you for that. Make sure that you be safe, be a blessing. Kansas City and Chiefs Kingdom. Mount up.
Shut up.